Well, that sucked. Hello everyone and welcome to Denver Broncos Syndicate, part of the Sports Syndicate family of channels where we're dedicated to bringing you content about our favorite sports teams. I am your host, Gage Madrid. The Denver Broncos lost their season opener to the Seattle Seahawks 17-16. Before we jump into an overall ugly performance from the Broncos, be sure to leave a like on this video as well as subscribe and ring the bell so these videos appear in your notification feed. I would really appreciate it. Overall, it was just a sloppy performance all around from the Broncos. Although Russ himself played well, throwing for over 340 yards, the team just was underprepared and let Geno Smith, of all people, carve them up through the air. Geno went 23 for 28 through the air for 195 and 2 touchdowns. Overall, I'd say the big story of the game has got to be the penalties. The Broncos had 12 penalties accepted for 106 yards last night. That is absolutely unacceptable. The team overall just seemed underprepared. It seemed like Hackett was really struggling to relay the play to Russ with 25 seconds left or more on the clock. By the time Russ got the players to the line, they had less than 10 seconds to snap the ball half the time. That ended up biting us in the you-know-what several times with delay of game penalties. You just can't do that. That's unacceptable. It's sloppy. In my game preview video, I said that we had to do 3 things if we wanted to beat the Seahawks. The first one was going to be to generate the run game. Although we did run the football pretty well with 103 rushing yards, the 2 goal line fumbles were absolutely egregious. In my opinion, those were bad play calls. You do not get in the shotgun on the goal line. You get under center, I formation, fullback in the backfield, hand it off to Javonte with a lead blocker and let him go in for the touchdown. That's simple stuff. You can't overcomplicate your goal line offense. That's just bad football. The only touchdown the Broncos scored was on a 67-yard bomb to Judy. They went 0 for 4 in the red zone. That's just terrible. Your red zone offense cannot crumble when you're moving the ball well in between the 20s. I mean, we generated a run game. We were able to build off that in the play action pass game. We just could not punch the ball in the red zone. And it honestly felt like Hackett was trying to overcomplicate his play calls in the red zone. And that's just not good. And again, we moved the ball well. We had 433 yards on 64 plays and 8 drives, 6.8 yards per play. We outperformed them on offense. We just couldn't get it done in the red zone, and that's ultimately what killed us. Despite all of that, the Broncos still had a chance to win this game, and they blew it. They got the ball back with 4 minutes left, down 1 point. We actually started off the drive pretty well. We drove the ball all the way down to the 40-yard line prior to the 2-minute warning. It was after that where things really went to crap. After the 2-minute warning, Russ had a completion to Javonte Williams for 9 yards, but right after that, he dumped it off to Javonte again, but this time he lost 4 yards. The clock did stop for an injured Seattle player. After that, on 3rd and 14, Russ yet again dumped it off to Javonte Williams for 9 yards, and that brought him down to the Seattle 46. But that's where, in my opinion, the Broncos just absolutely fumbled it. They once again struggled to get aligned on, I don't know if the play call came in late again or what happened, but the Broncos were struggling to get aligned, and they ended up wasting 40 seconds off the clock before finally burning a timeout with 20 seconds left. That brought up 4th and 5, and okay, after that, you could still throw a quick slant, try to convert that 4th and 5, and set up a higher percentage field goal, but for some reason, Hackett decided to send Brandon McManus out there to try a 64-yard field goal. I saw on Twitter that since 2010 or something like that, I believe it was 8 of 59 field goals from 63 plus yards have been made. That's such a low percentage. I don't understand why you don't just try to convert the 4th down and set up an easier field goal. That probably gives you a higher chance of winning the game, no? I don't understand. And Hackett says that he's big on analytics, and I cannot imagine the analytics told you to do that. And what's even more baffling is that McManus tried a practice kick. Seattle called a timeout to try to ice him. He missed the practice kick wide left, and Hackett still elected to give him another go at it. And what happened? He missed it wide left again. I'm sorry. I've liked what I've seen from Coach Hackett in training camp, but tonight he left a lot to be desired for me. The Broncos have a lot to clean up. It's only week 1 and we still have a lot of football left, but based on what I've seen on defense with the lack of discipline, lack of tackling, giving up big plays to Geno Smith of all people, we completely failed to check any of the boxes in terms of our keys to victory for tonight, and that was really disappointing to see. We got out-coached by Pete Carroll, and if you've watched a Pete Carroll coach team recently, his coaching has been archaic and sloppy and poorly disciplined and just as bad as that. So for us to be out-coached by that, we have a lot to improve on as the season goes on, but I digress. All right, Broncos country, this is the time to get it off your chest. How do you feel about what you saw tonight? Drop those comments down below. I would love to hear from you. And if you want to chat even more ball with me and go over any more thoughts and concerns about tonight, please hit me up on Twitter at GageMadridNFL. I'd really love to hear from you over there as well. And for now, this has been another episode of Denver Broncos Syndicate. I am your host, Gage Madrid, saying peace out and let's ride.